This is not going to be a politically predetermined outcome made by a bunch of political bureaucrats at the head shed at the FBI. This is going to be frontline work done by real field agents out in the Little Rock field office, and they should be concerned because justice may be coming to their doorstep very soon. Wow. So it looks like Clinton world is coming to an end as America and the real world comes back. All right, I got to say, rising star of the Republican Party. I know that he's one of my favorite people to watch on Fox News or when he's even on CNN. Got 5 minutes left with Matt Gaetz, mattgaetz.com. Gaetz spelled G-A-E-T-Z, mattgaetz.com. You can follow him on Twitter, all the rest of it, and that's critical. We had a great discussion during that 3.5-minute break. Let's just go through it. What happens as their house of cards falls? They've shown they never give up. Well, you're right about that, Alex, but they're going to be like cornered rats when this entire investigation is shown to be the fraud that it is. It's built on a rotten foundation, and I suspect that they'll have to go into major defense mode over Hillary Clinton and the Clinton Foundation. There's a lot of people that paid bribes to the Clinton Foundation that still may be getting a benefit out of this government, and when they find out that their house of cards is falling, we may see a very strong reaction, and they'll have to really start to explain themselves because the president's shown one thing. He's willing to drain the swamp in this town. That's right. No lobbyist in there, and that's why they're panicking. 2018, they say, is everything. We secured the beachhead like Normandy, but we've got to actually go into Germany here to use that World War II analogy. So let's talk about 2018. Well, Trump voters have to have a reason to come out and vote for Republicans in a world in which Donald Trump's not going to be on the ballot, Alex. And so the question is, will Republicans stand by the Trump agenda? Will we help this president get major things accomplished like we did on tax reform? Or in this next year, is it going to be more like the Obamacare fiasco, where unfortunately we weren't able to do that because of some people in the Senate, primarily Republicans, abandoning this president? And so I think that if we stand behind our standard bearer, if we fight for his agenda, for a stronger border, for infrastructure, for tax cuts, we'll see this economy take off and Trump voters will come out. If we see more of like what we see out of Lindsey Graham and Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski and sometimes Mitch McConnell, then I fear we may be in for a real tough cycle. So it's all up to us. We have the power to control our destiny if we'll fight with this president. Well, that's right. The leftists brag. They go, okay, libertarians, conservatives, nationalists, populists, they woke up. They're taking over worldwide, but it doesn't matter. Now we've mobilized, and they're really stealing elections. They are boiling out of their rat holes. People need to know, hey, this was just phase one. It's kind of like a football game. We've won the first half, and now we're coming out of the bunkers here. This is the real fight here in the second half. No, you're absolutely right, because if we lose the House, Nancy Pelosi will have Donald Trump impeached by this House within 90 days of taking the gavel. I firmly believe that. And so that's why the House is so important. And then in the Senate, we find too often that there's this sense of collegiality and deference to one another that really erodes democracy. It erodes majority rule. I think we need a new voice in the huddle in the Senate. I think that we need some leaders in the United States Senate to stand up and fight for this president's agenda and fight for conservative reform. They did that on tax cuts, and I think that they should be commended for it. Now let's get back and start working on some of these entitlements that are hollowing out the economic future of this country. Let's get back and actually secure the border. Let's do E-Verify. Let's end chain migration. I think if we can get a Senate behind those priorities, we'll have a great 2018. But if they fail to do the conservative things we promised to our voters, then I suspect voters who are Trump fans may not come out for the election. But you're right. It's critically important to get the agenda done. Well, I got to say, and I'm not a cheerleader, I'm a cheerleader for the truth. Trump has over-delivered in 1 year. He did more than Reagan ever did in 3 or 4, and I love Reagan. I mean, it was dramatic. They call it gridlock. He ran over the gridlock. I mean, all the things we got procedurally, wounding Obamacare, the tax cuts, the border, taking care of the military. I mean, all the things we've seen, the jobs, the stock market. I mean, if America doesn't double down and realize Trump's got our back, we've got to get his back, we deserve what happens. In closing, the minute we've got left, Congressman Gaetz from Florida, State of the Union. We've seen year one about delivering. Trump says, hey, I've just got it started. What do you expect to hear in the State of the Union tomorrow night? I expect the president to offer a unifying message. I expect a real focus on infrastructure and about the economic conditions people find themselves in, because the mainstream media can lie and they can cheat and they can distort and they can take things out of context and sensationalize
all kind of drama that goes on here in Washington. But what the mainstream media can't lie about is the amount of money in people's paychecks. And I think that the president is going to talk to over 2 million Americans that have already seen their wages rise. They've already seen bonuses in their bank accounts. And he's going to talk about the economic condition of of the American people. And I think ultimately that will unify our party, and it should unify the country.
That's right. It's just really a question of the people are awake. They should deliver and take action. I got to ask this last question. I know you're not a vindictive guy. Neither am I. You know, Napoleon got, sent off to Alba. But Hillary and the globalists have committed all these crimes. There should be more investigations. Something should be done. They're always going to come back if we don't. Is somebody going to get indicted over the made-up Russiagate crimes, trying to frustrate voters, and all the crazy stuff we've seen? I mean, the money, the former FBI director, McCabe's wife getting $500,000. The president's talked about it. What needs to happen, just in closing?
Well, there have been credible media reports that the Little Rock field office is actually investigating elements of bribery and corruption with the Clinton Foundation, particularly as it relates to uranium sales that may not have been in our nation's interest. And I think that should really worry Hillary Clinton and some of the people who were paying money for influence within the Clinton world, because this is not going to be a politically predetermined outcome made by a bunch of political bureaucrats at the head shed at the FBI. This is going to be frontline work done by real field agents out in the Little Rock field office, and they should be concerned because justice may be coming to their doorstep very soon.
Wow. So it looks like Clinton world is coming to an end as America and the real world comes back. Wow. Matt Gaetz, really impressed with what you're doing. MattGaetz.com. Thanks for joining us here in the InfoWar.
Thank you.
All right. There goes the Congressman. Thank you so much, Congressman. Wow. MattGaetz.com. I'm Alex Jones with Infowars.com and Newswars.com. We're going to go to break here in just a few minutes. But I tell you, I remember Stone a couple of years ago on Matt Gaetz, we're running him for Congress. Oh, he's the best, blah, blah, blah. You're going to love him. This guy's going to be a hard charger. This guy's going to be, you watch this guy, and boom, there it is. I mean, it's just like amazing. And that is not the congressman that I talked to about the memos 2 weeks ago, or Jack Posobiec that talked to another congressman, or Roger Stone that had dinner with 3 congressmen to tell you what was in the memo. And again, you're talking to people writing notes like, okay, it's the memo. Okay, it does this. Okay, it's a blueprint. It's a roadmap to all the stuff they've done. It proves perjury in the general FISA memo. And then all of a sudden, a week later, William Benny, the former technical head of the NSA, goes, oh, this document, no one's paid attention. This is the memo. And it is the memo. But and then it's part of the larger memo they're writing about the FISA court that then nexuses them all in with that into how they perjured themselves. And I have trouble. It's a big investigation getting my mind around that. But, I mean, it's crystal clear. But, again, then they play semantical games about what's in it. It's going to destroy them. And that's why my spidey sense, I could barely sleep last night, even though I was a good boy and tried to go to bed early and everything. I rolled around a bunch. I woke up in the middle of the night, was doing research for 3 hours. And I only can't sleep when big stuff's about to happen. Because, man, we're relaunching the Republic right now. We are, and again, it doesn't mean I'm perfect or you're perfect, but we're not out to hurt you. My intent is justice and prosperity. Doesn't mean I've got to suppress some of my evil side sometimes when people are messing with me. But I love God. And I know I'm a sinner. That's the difference. These people don't even know they're evil. They're just running wild, like foaming at the mouth about everything. And it just gets worse and worse and crazier because they're megalomaniacs. They have no governors because they're not powerful. Really innately powerful people have governors because they understand what can happen. But scumbags don't. Your calls and a ton of breaking news and clips from the news conference coming up straight ahead.
You know, someone very profoundly once said many years ago that if fascism ever comes to America, it'll come in the name of liberalism.
He goes to jail. He goes to jail. Lock him up.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
One thing that happens when you make as many wild, unproven claims as Trump does is that the people around you have to go to increasingly ridiculous lengths to try to defend those claims. And this weekend we saw another example of that when White House counselor Kellyanne Conway was asked if she had any proof for Trump's outlandish claim that Obama wiretapped him during the campaign and offered this bizarre answer.
How does he know that his phone was actually tapped?
Let me answer that globally. He's the president of the United States. He has information and intelligence that the rest of us do not.
You know what? Yeah, I'll agree with that. Trump has intelligence that I definitely do not. I agree. Listen, people, one more time. Trump's accusation is ridiculous and pathetic.
He is suggesting a US president enlisted a foreign intelligence service to spy on a political adversary. That is an explosive charge.
This is a serious allegation. This might be the most serious allegation any president has made against a previous president.
But this is a very serious allegation for a sitting president to make about his predecessor.
Trump tweeted, terrible, just found out that Obama had my wires tapped in Trump Tower just before the victory. Nothing found. This is McCarthyism. And the other one, how low has President Obama gone to tap my phones during the very sacred election process? This is Nixon Watergate, bad or sick guy. He said Obama is either a bad or sick guy. Maybe he means him as compliments, like, yeah, man, he's bad. He's a bad guy.
The NSA's deputy director told the BBC it was arrant nonsense, revealing a complete lack of understanding in how the relationship works. And for their part, GCHQ called the accusations utterly ridiculous. And yet, rather than distancing himself from Spicer, Trump decided to back him up.
Are you asking, did I wiretap Donald Trump? Of course, I did it.
How low has President Obama gone to tap my phones during the very sacred election process? This is Nixon/Watergate.
Hello? Hey, Barack. Sorry, we have to investigate you on this wiretapping thing.
But you know I didn't do that.
I know, but we still have to investigate it. Otherwise, it'll look like I'm just mentally unstable.
The craziest thing about Trump calling for an investigation without any evidence, zero evidence. Trump has not produced a shred of evidence.
There is no evidence for Trump's claims.
The evidence did not come.
So where did Trump get his info? From the CIA? From the FBI?
Where are you getting this information?
From a very reputable source.
What, the FBI, the CIA?
InfoWars. It's a radio show hosted by Alex Jones. You know he's legit.
It's critical to support independent media operations that aren't these internet ghettos like Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, like Infowars.com, and to spread the articles and the videos. And it's more critical than ever, too, to wear T-shirts out in public. Depending on how extreme you want to get, wear an Infowars.com shirt. You're going to be loved. You're going to get dinner bought for you. You're going to meet maybe your future spouse 90% of the time. 10% of the time, you may get hot coffee thrown on you and somebody trying to physically attack you. Or wear something like "Don't Tread on Me," that is a symbol that other patriots recognize, so you can wear your colors publicly and meet like-minded people. That's what flags are about. That's what symbols are about. Now, I had an idea, because growing up, I loved Book of the Month Club and Comic Book of the Month Club, or Model of the Month Club, where a model would come, you know, of a B-17 or a truck or whatever, and I'd glue it together and paint it and everything. We have a shirt of the month that will be a collector's edition, high-quality shirt that is only available for that month. But these shirts just came in a few days ago. It's a red version of our best-selling yellow version, Won't Tread on Me, with the American flag and Infowars.com. This red version will only be available for the next 25 days or so, because we just got them in a few days ago, and then that's it. And you get 25% off when you order it at InfoWarsStore.com in the shirt of the month. You sign up in that, in the auto ship function, can cancel anytime, it's totally free, and then you get the next shirt every month. You can give it as a gift, you can change the size, and you'll have a wardrobe of Patriot apparel for every occasion. So it's available right now on InfoWarsStore.com or 888-253-3139. So again, thank you all for checking out InfoWarsStore.com. You built InfoWars, and we're going to the next level thanks to you.